start to gear up, they pack up, and this is the unique part about this track. Whoa, Dixon had to pop out of line there. A real concertina effect. Now the green flies. Alexander Rossi, the pole sitter's getting a flyer. His teammate Hunter-Reay in that yellow car's getting squeezed. Here come the Penske boys. And there's a big run from Chilton. Chilton always went up the inside.
That was a bit of a dirty start. I thought he completely brake checked everybody up, Rossi, and almost caused a crash behind him.
Newgarden and Hunter-Reay going at it. The yellow car there trying to hold the inside. Newgarden has the advantage, so Newgarden slots into third. Great battle there for fourth.
Good start, Robert Wickens too. Then Takuma Sato, look at this. Hinchcliffe, Veach, Connor Daly's in the mix. Around the outside.
Car sideways off the corner. Car's 4 wide coming off the corner. Sebastian Bourdais still at the back. There's nowhere for him to go, but there's Connor Daly holding off.
Looked like Pagano got into the side of Marco Andretti. Marco was the car with big sideways action coming over the rise there in turn 8. Marco's still struggling for rear grip.
Hey, Paul, your assessment of the start is an interesting one. It is allegedly, it's under review.
Yeah, if we get a
be.
replay of that, it looked like he completely brake checked up the whole field, and kind of a dirty move, really. I mean, that's we know he drives hard and we know he's aggressive. Look at this, Dixon taking a chance. Will his ex-teammate give him a little room? These guys are good friends on and off the track, so he needs to get ahead of him and just settle in. But will his ex-teammate work with him here?
Scott Dixon thinking, man, I flew all the way to London for your wedding. Come on, as Veach and Hinchcliffe go side by side.
Look at this. Here's Connor Daly on the inside, down into turn 4.
Whoa, what do we got here?
Sato.
I think he spun and did a 360 and ended up straight. Traffic jam at the end of the back straightaway. He gets going, fires it again.
Wow, look at that. Jack Harvey and Matthias Leist going elbows out. A lot of great action on the opening lap.
Bourdais has only passed 1 car in a lap and a half. It's so hard to get by because guys are just driving like crazy right now to make position.
We'll keep you up to date about that start being under review from Race Control. Look at the Fuzzy's Vodka car here. Jordan King with a promising start. The British driver is up to 9th after starting 16th. He obviously picked his way through the mayhem very effectively.
Terrific. Up 7 positions, Jordan King. Let's watch what happened with Takuma Sato. Outside here.
He got touched.
Might be contact. Was that Max Chilton?
Yep.
It looks like it.
Chilton gave him the chrome horn. He did a 360. Lucky it's downhill there. His car's rolling, and he bump starts it. Here we got a replay from another car. So Chilton dives down the inside. No lockup. Touches him in the back. Sato does a 360. It's rolling, and he bump starts it and goes again.
James Hinchcliffe and Zach Veach. Veach to the right.
You're clear behind.
Let's ride this one out.
Whoa. That was lucky that front wing didn't break.
Minor contact there, but good heads-up driving from Hinch to avoid the spun car of Takuma Sato. Back up front, Alexander Rossi.
Well, he's under review. He's pulling out a little bit of a lead, but we're going to wait and see what Race Control does if we can get a replay on that start at some point. But definitely he checked up the field big time.
So Alexander Rossi with 1.3 seconds over Will Power. And then Joseph Newgarden, Ryan Hunter-Reay going out of shot there. Really promising start from Robert Wickens. He's running 5th. Chilton has been able to keep Scott Dixon at bay, and there's a little more gap now starting to open up in between these cars. Here's Simon Pagano working on Connor Daly, one side to the other.
Connor Daly deep on the brakes, tries to go Buffalo Boy around the outside, but Simon has the position there.
Good move from Pagano. Pagano had that light contact on the opening lap, but I think Connor's going to come back on him.
Looking outside.
And this is a David and Goliath situation. This is the single car team Harding Racing up against Penske.
It's smart driving from Pagano. I don't know if you can tell, but he just went wide of the apex down there in turn 4 to make Connor Daly's life miserable on the outside. Very subtle. That's an experienced driver, Paul, showing a young guy how to hold him back.
And it's not been a very good weekend for Simon Pagano, just the qualifying position back in 17th. But the car has never been good, and that's been the theme all season long. Good on ovals, but he struggled so far this season most of the time. A little better at Toronto, but that doesn't transfer here, and he can't use his teammates' setup. His teammates are good, but he said that does not work for him, so they're guessing coming into the race and just hoping it works out.
Sebastian Bourdais racing with Sato. The long way around here, you can easily get pushed off the road.
Oh, Sato fighting back and then backing it into turn 5. I like that.
Up front, gap has remained the same. Still 2 seconds between Rossi and Power as Piggott and Andretti come to pit lane.
And for Marco Andretti and many others that we've seen, you're seeing a lot of activity on pit road because the pit window has opened for a 3-stop race. That was a little bit of a longer stop for Marco Andretti. In fact, Spencer Piggott gapped him somewhat. Now here's what we're looking at for pit windows. For 3 stops, you can see it's already opened. It opened on lap number 6. You're well within that. Now, there is potentially a scenario today where you could make this a 2-stop race, but in order to do that, you would have to really save some fuel. And look at that, the map is easy. 90-lap race, you'd have to stop on lap 30 and lap 60. These guys that are racing this hard in the keyhole, they're not on a 2-stop strategy. They're going for 3, burning fuel and tires. I think that's the way to go today.
Look at these two former F1 drivers going at it. Takuma Sato, Sebastian Bourdais. Sato takes that inside run. Look at Sebastian all the way around the outside. Does he keep it on track? He does.
Cold tires right in front for Piggott. Can he hold off Bourdais into this section? He's on hot tires and reds. Piggott is on blacks.
Shades of Long Beach for Sebastian Bourdais. I've never seen that much entry speed down in turn 4. He made it stick.
James Hinchcliffe pits from the top 10. You know, just thinking about this racing here, this isn't for the win, this isn't for the podium, not just yet. It's all the way down in 18th and 19th place, but it's great racing.
Well, for Sebastian Bourdais, he started off the weekend fastest in practice 1, had a big mistake in qualifying, so we know Bourdais got a fast car. He's trying to prove to his team and to fans, everyone, hey, we've got the speed, we just need to get to clean air. Here he goes up the outside of Piggott.
Here. He's going to go over, under here if he can, or maybe around the outside. Man,
brilliant
what a pass.
Brilliant move.
Pass.
Oh, Seabass is fired up.
Gunfighter, nice job. Keep it up.
Craig Hampson, his engineer, playing the role of coach as well. Kev?
Ryan Hunter-Reay pitting from 4th. He started saving fuel just a little bit. Now it's obviously clearly a 3-stop strategy. They are one of the teams, though, that did contemplate just a little bit doing 2 stops. I think we needed a yellow, though, in the first few laps for anybody, at least as far as the fast guys are concerned, to really do that.
All over the back of Tony Kanaan, who's just come out on cold tires. We'll see if he makes that move. Huge exit speed there, but you're not going to get around the outside of this next corner, but he pulls it off.
Right now you're seeing the advantage of new red tires. That will fade after about 10 laps for Bourdais, so he knows he needs to make hay when the sun's shining, as they say, with fresh Firestones and a lot of grip at his disposal.
Look how tight this is.
Yeah, Jack Harvey's in front of these guys. He's pitted, and he knows that these 2 guys are going to pit at any minute, so he's not really inclined to let them go by because he's battling the guys in front of him. So he's trying his hardest to keep his lap because he knows these guys are coming in.
And on Will Power's pit stop cycle, he has been leapfrogged by Schmidt-Peterson's Robert Wickens. So that'll be a source of frustration. Power will be trying to make up for that.
Oh, we got to run here. Look at this, Townsend. Push the passes on. We got to run.
Oh, this is the move.
Oh,
this is the Newgarden move.
That's the move.
He did that to Will Power last year. Genius.
He did it again.
For the lead of the race, Joseph Newgarden for Team Penske.
You could see him framing up that exact same move, fading to the outside, out of the frame of Rossi's mirrors, and now the 9 car of Scott Dixon is at the front and in the battle.
He's right there on the back, and he's going to want to seize control and stay with Newgarden, but Newgarden pulls off his textbook move. That's his signature move.
Let's see game on.
I tell you what, it's a bad move for Rossi to stay out and be hung up behind these guys. These guys are going to leapfrog him.
Newgarden and Dixon sharing pit boxes, nose to tail. Kevin, what's this going to be?
And Alexander Rossi just said on the radio a moment ago, this is not working. He's going to go a couple more laps. Is he possibly thinking about doing it on 2 stops? At the front of the grid, Joseph Newgarden coming in right after he made that pass. Robert Wickens also going by. See where Will Power is as he comes in. And Scott Dixon is also out.
These guys all lost ground because they were hung up doing 109s behind the lap cars. So Rossi staying out is not beneficial to him.
I was surprised that Rossi stayed out that long.
Check this out, folks. Last 2 cars. One way, then the other, and whoosh, straight into the lead of the race.
And a little bit of a hip check, too. So You've definitely muscled Rossi out of the way. Rossi's been the guy that's been the aggressor, but watch this, Townsend. He comes in, gets side by side, and then right here just moves over on him and pushes him out of the way.
Great wheel-to-wheel action. Two young American stars going for it in this championship. We're back on Rossi, who has not pitted. Could he potentially go all the way and make it a two-stopper? I doubt it, the way he's been burning fuel. So lap 23 complete. He's got to come in soon, but he's losing pace behind the lap cars.
What a race here at Mid-Ohio. The Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio has had a little bit of everything already, except a caution period. Yes, considering the wild way the weekend has transpired so far, there's been no yellows, and you're looking at the race leader, Robert Wickens. Pitted on lap 15, and he has a monstrous 13+ second lead.
He is absolutely flying. He has the whole straightaway lead over Bauer. He's been laying down laps, Townsend, that are over a second a lap quicker, and he's on older tires.
Yeah, and for all these guys, Power, Hunter-Reay, Newgarden, that stayed out longer for the first stint, they lost that massive gap when they started to stack up to slower cars. There's Rossi. Now, we think Rossi could maybe make it on one more stop. He went 29 laps on the first stint. Dixon did 26 laps. Kevin, do you hear anything about Rossi and fuel mileage at this point?
So when he was trying to hold off Scott Dixon, he obviously was using all the fuel available at that point, but he was then told after a lap, dial it back. So it's very clear that that's the goal, but they came in one lap of the numbers that Jan mentioned, getting to midpoint. So they're going to need a yellow or super save.
Meanwhile, Bourdais, Sebastian Bourdais has pulled off another impressive pass down at turn 4, and he's up 13 positions. He is really on the move.
And I think the teams that are considering tire compound choice are looking at Bourdais' pace on the Reds, because he's put 24 laps on these Reds. He's still fast. As you see contact with Bourdais and Veach, which we understand is under review. Remember when Veach did that with Hinchcliffe about 20 laps ago?
Got a run on him here, and Veach kind of protected the inside, committed Bourdais to the outside, but then moved back over and squeezed him in the brake zone. But Bourdais says, hey, I'm coming through anyway.
Yeah, I wonder though for Veach, that's a blind spot pass, so I don't know if he knew Bourdais was right there on his left rear.
So the top 5 all pitted on different laps. How is this going to work out, especially for Robert Wickens? Now what about this? Watch the Napa car of Alexander Rossi. Whoop. Just coming out of the keyhole right at the top of the hill.
Sometimes it's hard, Paul, with a massive lead to keep focus when everything's under control, nice and chill.
Always danger out there when you drop a wheel off the other side of the curb. You pick up a rock, you cut the tire, could end up going flat. So easy to drop a wheel off here, and there's rocks and debris out there that can cut down the tire very easily. But he's got a big lead now. It's down to 18 seconds. It was 22, so he's making fuel mileage that he has to make, getting through some lapped cars. But as you can see there, it's dropped down a little bit, but he's got not many laps to go.
18 seconds,
18
laps, and 126 seconds of push to pass sitting in the bank account.
Big battle here. You've got all these championship guys. Every one of these guys in this group of drivers here has won a championship.
So there you go. Points as they run on your left side of your screen. So 62, remember, was the advantage to Scott Dixon coming into today. 46 leaving as positions are at the moment. Will Power has stabilized his Verizon Chevy to be able to keep out in front of his teammate Joseph Newgarden.
I wonder if Ryan Hunter-Reay might have something to say with Scott Dixon in the closing lap, something to say in terms of position, because Hunter-Reay on those blacks, they're starting to exercise their advantage a little bit. You see Pagenaud, who is on Reds, not nearly as aggressive, not able to challenge Hunter-Reay like he was able to do earlier. So I think Hunter-Reay might have something to deal with.
I think Bourdais might have something right here. He's on Reds and got pushed to pass. and Pagenaud has none. So watch out, Pagenaud. He's got to run right now as he protects the inside, makes him go the long way around. Bourdais done many passes on the outside, and he's got him on the push to pass.
Done. So that's from last again to 7th. Incredible work from Sebastian Bourdais.
4 seconds.
Yeah.
4 seconds of push to pass left for Bourdais, but Hunter-Reay has 10.
Hunter-Reay only has 10, Dixon only has 15, so this could be a great battle in the closing laps. Now Hunter-Reay with a big wiggle, and you can see Hunter-Reay immediately checking his mirrors. So Hunter-Reay wondering, where did that Bourdais guy come from? He was dead last to start this thing.
They said the Reds at the beginning, when we talked to guys in the pit lane, they said, well, we're going to get off the Reds right away because they go away, but not for this guy. He's been moving forward, Reds all the way through the race, and he's the hard charger right now.
The irony is that Bourdais was so fast on the blacks to start the weekend in practice, and they struggled to find balance on the Reds. Well, Greg Hampson and Bourdais have figured it out, and he's going to have a run here.
Look at this. He's got so much entry speed, and it carves through the middle. He's got to run.
You did not push it. You did not push it.
Meaning he did not push to pass. Ryan Hunter-Reay has a look, has a second look, goes deep on the brakes down into 4.
Was that a defensive move?
Well, the question is, was it a reaction?
Looked like a reaction to me. Bourdais stuck his nose down and Hunter-Reay moved, so we'll see if that comes under investigation.
13 and a half laps to go. And Alexander Rossi comfortably out in front over Robert Wickens, the lead rookie in this year's series. Check this out.
See, Bourdais now gets a look right here. I don't think he moved over. That was fair. That's clean racing.
You know what that was? That was Bourdais just showing a nose in the mirror, just trying to put on a little pressure.
Well, he took some push to pass from Hunter-Reay. Hunter-Reay now down to 6. Bourdais still on 4.
Here's Will Power. Team Penske teammate Joseph Newgarden, then Scott Dixon.
Graham Rahaal's now dragged himself up into the fight, the hometown guy. We haven't seen much of him all day. It's been a quiet day, but now he's on the tail end of these lead group of guys here.
Well, and level set with the guys in front of him. Graham Rahal only 7 seconds of push to pass left, so. Graham Rahal, though, told me earlier in the weekend that he was very happy with the balance of his car on both red and black tires, so. We're 13 laps to go. And Rahal, always a great racer at the end of these things.
Say the 25 and the 9 is under review right now. Hunter-Reay has lost a little bit of ground to the back of Dixon.
28 and 18 are under review. So that's Hunter-Reay and Bourdais, what we just saw. I would expect that to say no action, and in fact, we just get the word no action on that review.
Well, it was very similar to the recent move by Joseph Newgarden, wasn't it? Where it's just good, hard defensive driving. Let's talk more about the race leader with just 12 and a half to go, really, Kev.
And no dramas. He's maintaining that gap, running consistent lap times. Rob Edwards says you're good on fuel and your lap times are what we want. This was a proud moment. We saw the emotion yesterday from Alexander Rossi. One of the reasons he said we really struggled the first year and a half that I came to IndyCar and road courses. It started to turn mid-season last year. Remember the win at Watkins Glen late in the season, and it's been strong this season. And this is one of the strongest drives yet we've seen from the 2016 Indy 500 winner. Alexander Rossi leading, trying to bring it home.
Rossi's doing 29 and 30 lap stints.
His history in racing coming from DTM, really short sprint races, no concern with fuel, but right now, this is the battle on track right here. Bourdais has 4 seconds of push to pass. He's hounding the back of Hunter-Reay. Hunter-Reay's car, the blacks look like they're starting to go away as he starts to lay down a little rubber off the corners right here.
Pagenaud got some high curb action there, trying to hang with these two. Time running out. Now if Robert Wickens stays where he is, which he should, that'll be his 4th consecutive top 5 result. back-to-back podiums. He got a podium, his home race, his very first home IndyCar race in Toronto.
Bourdais on the button.
Here he comes.
Hunter-Reay has nothing to defend with.
He almost hit the back of him. Who's going to go on the outside here? He's going to take it.
Maybe not.
Oh, so close. They almost hit. Hunter-Reay out in the gray. He's going to lose a spot to Pagenaud. Pushes him wide. Man, this is good racing.
Terrific stuff. I'm sure Hunter-Reay's wondering, where's the advantage of running long on the black tires? These guys on reds are beating up on me. We ride with Graham Rahal, who's now all over Pagenaud.
Bourdais checked out now in a couple of corners. He's out clear of these guys. Hunter-Reay is hanging on these blacks.
I think Bourdais will catch Dixon and Newgarden easily, but unfortunately Bourdais now out of push to pass. Dixon has 15, Newgarden 30 seconds.
And only 6 laps to go.
Rahal on 4 seconds of push to pass. Dixon has 15. He might be able to challenge Newgarden.
Well, Bourdais 6. If he can finish with a top 5 after starting last, as we see this pass again with Hunter-Reay.
Hunter-Reay protects the inside, makes him commit to the inside, moves back out, and man, he's been so brave. All these outside passes Bourdais has made, man, he's been on it today.
Hunter-Reay tries to hold back here, but at this point you're well offline, off grip. I was just going to say, if Bourdais can come home with a top 5 after starting last in a race with no yellows. That is remarkable.
Look at all the marbles off track.
Oh, Graham Rahal.
Graham Rahal has an off. Beach right there. Beach has a lot of push to pass left, where he's got 3 seconds now. Rahal is now out. What a great run by Beach. We haven't seen much of him all day, but look, he's right up here with all these previous champions, Graham Rahal, so that's a great run for him too.
Really pretty interesting, guys, that this is the first race I think we've seen in the last several years since push to pass where this many drivers are out with this many laps to go.
These guys are going to have to race each other, Lee, straight up on speed. They have no push to pass assistance, these 3 guys.
Just a fair old 5-lap scrap. And you see the blue and white 5th, 3rd banked Honda there of Graham Rahal has been able to get back up onto Simon Pagenaud fairly efficiently. Alexander Rossi's lead has been trimmed again to under 16 seconds, but look at that. There's no immediate pressure at all. We're waiting to see Robert Wickens. There is the familiar Lucas Oil red number 6. And there is Will Power. So a little more pressure on Wickens over these closing laps.
Well, Power's closing the gap to Wickens. You've got Sato there, who almost had a look down the inside of Wickens, who's a lap down. But right now, the guy on the move right here maybe could get another 2nd place finish is this man right here, Will Power. And he has 35 seconds of push to pass left.
We talked about going on runs at the start of the race, going on points runs, Lee. Dixon came into this one with a 62-point lead. Rossi was in 3rd. Now Rossi would be in 2nd, 46 points behind. There's every reason to think Rossi could go to Pocono and be strong, Portland and be strong, show up at St. Louis and get all the way to Sonoma, very easily level with Dixon. So this is huge for Alexander Rossi to start what could be a great championship run.
With this victory in just 3 laps time, there's his father Peter.
4.1 if you can, 4.1.
Who was instrumental in his son's career, especially the move from the US to Europe and in the junior Formula E. And it has been a long road, and the guy on the right there has been there every step of the way. But think about this. There's various things that play out here. Rossi could be our 6th different winner in as many years here in Mid-Ohio. A win eludes Will Power yet again. Dixon is denied a victory. Championship tightens up. So much has been played out today with 4 races remaining this season.
Still saving a ton of fuel. He's got to run certain lap time, certain pace. You hear him.
2 laps to go. The 10's not for position. You can let him go if you need to.
Good instruction from Rob Edwards. He's a master on the radio, a master strategist. No pressure. You can let the lap car go by if you want.
You know, I've been thinking a lot about all this chatter about Scott Dixon being up for grabs and the teams going after him. If Dixon did leave to another team, you'd have to think that Chip Ganassi would take a look at a big check to Alexander Rossi based on what he's achieved in this series the last few years.
Or the guy behind him, Robert Wickens.
Yeah. Might be a better value. Hasn't won an Indy 500 yet. Certainly has a chance to, the way he's driven on ovals, Robert Wickens.
Before we go and before we run out of time in this race, I want to pay credit to a former Formula One team owner and IndyCar team owner, a lovely man who passed away recently, Mo Nunn. Also Dave Mirage, Le Mans winning sports car team owner and ALMS sports car team owner, left us and passed away recently. And then of course Sergio Marchionne, President and CEO of Ferrari, CEO of Fiat Chrysler. Really a lot of sadness in the racing world lately with some iconic figures, and our thoughts are with their respective families.
Ed Brown looking to get back on the lead lap.
Ed Brown or Ed Jones?
Or Ed Jones, sorry, looking to get back on the lead lap, and he does. Rossi easily lets him go by an extra lap. So Jones.
Rossi needs to soak this up. Look, round past the hill, all the fans. That's what it's about here at Mid-Ohio, grabbing a chair and a cooler and sitting on the hillside and watching some classic road racing at an amazing circuit. Qualifying on the pole yesterday meant so much to this guy. He doesn't show a lot of passion, but boy, did he yesterday, as Kevin told us earlier. And now, with his strategist, to win this in this such a dramatic way. How about that? Alexander Rossi.
Great job. Great job.
Victorious at Mid-Ohio.
Boy, beautiful.
And Alexander Rossi climbs atop his Napa Andretti Autosport car. Win number 4 in his career. Second this season. He cuts the gap in the championship to 46 on Scott Dixon. We saw the emotion yesterday when he won the pole. He told me road courses have been an issue for them since he came to IndyCar. Safe to say, I think they've started to figure some things out. A hug from his dad, Peter, J.F. Thorman, one of the Andretti executives. There's Rob Edwards, who made the call on strategy. We'll ask about that in a moment. But Alex, congratulations. You know, we saw that emotion yesterday for the pole, what that meant to you. Now, it's not your first road course win, but it was very dominant. What's it mean to you?
It's what we needed, man. You know, we said coming into this weekend we have to execute for 5 weekends in a row. So this is the start of that, hopefully. And the Napa Andretti team they were so on it today. Gave me an amazing race car. And this one's for them. I mean, it was a great strategy all day. We knew we could two-stop it if we committed early, and that's what we did. So great fuel mileage from Honda, great tire life from Firestone, so really an all-around perfect day.
So late in the first stint, when Newgarden got by you, I could hear you on the radio saying, this isn't working. Were you getting worried about that strategy?
It wasn't Joseph that I was concerned about. It was the lap traffic, but it ended up working out anyways because they couldn't hit a fuel number. So on races like that, you just got to be really patient, and it's hard sometimes. But you know, Rob is a very calming force, and just talked me through it, and we were able to manage it.
Were you always planning from the drop of the green flag to do it on 2 stops?
No, we were planning on seeing if we could hit a number, and if we could, then we were going to do 2 stops. So it was a little bit up to me to see if I could manage it, and when we were able to get it pretty easily, then yeah, we committed.
How much fuel is left?
Well, enough to do a half donut, get high centered, stall, restart, and make my way back to pit lane. So never a dull moment.
We talked about the championship before, and you weren't going to get into that. Now that you've got a win and you've cut it a little bit, does that allow you to think a little bit more about the possibilities with 4 to go?
I mean, we're thinking about it. We're just also focused on race wins. So we'll take a very well-deserved break for the whole team leading into Pocono. We've been strong there the past 2 years, and just go and try and repeat what we did today.
Watch the ABC Supply 500 Sunday, August 19th at 1:30 p.m. on NBCSN.